Hey you guys, Dolly Divine here. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of Isolation Was Designed to Transform You. Thanks for being here. So, picking up where I left off, guys, I turned to God, and at one point, He was the only person that I had to turn to. And in my meditation and prayer, I just got, I received a download, and God was saying, where you're going, not everyone is meant to be there with you, unfortunately. So it was in that moment that I realized that I really needed to embrace my period of isolation. So I did. I left in peace, not knowing what I was going to do, who I was going to turn to. But let me tell you that God definitely makes the way. He has a mysterious way of doing things, and He will show up in your life when you least expect it. So anyways, in my prayer, I did receive a message from God, and it was like I could hear my voice saying to me, but as God, not that I'm God, but as a download, my child, I know your spirit is weary. I know that you're tired, because I was exhausted. I really was. Emotionally, mentally, I was drained. And He said, I know you're tired, but you asked me to remove what is blocking you. You asked me to remove the chains holding you back. You prayed for strength, so I armed my best angels to assist you. And then I exposed that of what you asked of me so that it can be removed. I exposed people that aren't true to you. I exposed your inner passions to love and be loved. I exposed in the flesh that your true purpose and value does not lie in these people or this job. You are more than this. And y'all, this brought me to my knees, because it was in that moment right there that I had all the clarity I needed. It all just came rushing in. And as I looked around, this period of isolation actually did give me the space to heal, to feel, to validate those feelings, to allow myself to actually vet and assess the people in my life, and then to further take a stance to them and to set boundaries, so then I could grow. It was like I started to realize that I felt terrible after interacting with certain family, even at get-togethers. And I realized in this reflection that I had adopted poor boundaries as a result of being the family scapegoat. I had allowed this to show up in other relationships in my life, including intimate and professional relationships as well. And so after realizing that my own family was in fact capable of holding me back, I began to reshape their roles in my life by giving them less access to me, at least for the time being. And so when they would call for help and wanting me to be at a begging aid, I made it very clear that I had my own things to tend to. Matter of fact, I am going off the map, off the radar for a little while. I still had a heart for people. I still had the desire to protect, but I also had it in my mind that I have a right to put myself first, especially in the presence of those who have proven to not have my best interest at heart. You see, because I was accessible to the wrong people. And the people that I was making myself accessible to, they didn't truly value or cherish me. And so I needed to take this time to work on setting healthier boundaries in my life. I needed to trust myself more and know that my feelings are valid. So I did. And then I began to live in my truths. And from there, my life began to change. I was happier, more confident. I trusted myself more. I trusted the decisions that I was making more. And then it was really strange. Like, I could feel a whole shift happening, and all the things that I lacked just started to be fulfilled. Jobs started calling me back. It was honestly like the more that I let go of what was no longer serving me, God was aligning me with what was. And so honestly, this kind of made me a little bit excited. I began to get curious as to what was awaiting me at the end of all this. And so it made me feel like there was a surprise at the end. So that's what gave me the strength to be ready to forgive and let go, which leads me to release. So we all know that releasing is something that is very challenging as well. It is a lot easier said than done, but with the proper inner work taking place, like the things I mentioned above, it is possible to be able to move on, because oftentimes the things that keep us from bouncing back are our own mind and our own inability to let things go. So once I began to find clarity from realizing that this period of isolation was my chance to purge what was not serving me, there's a sense of gratitude that can be received from the experience. So without this sense of isolation, without this experience, without having gone through those things, we would not be able to be headed towards the breakthrough that is awaiting us on the other side. And see, gratitude allows us to reshape our perception of the recent challenges. When we look at those challenges as an opportunity, we begin to look at isolation as an opportunity to self-assess, reflect, plant new seeds to grow. And over time, we realize that it's time to release old ways of thinking, old mindsets, old friends, old toxic family traits, the old emotions and energy that's harvested in our bodies from outdated interactions. You name it, whatever you come up with in your reflection, family, that's what we will be releasing. That's what we will be letting go. And we're giving ourselves a chance to shed an old skin. And that is where the transformation comes in. This period, you are the rare chance that a lotus flower blooms in concrete. In a dark room with no nurturing, that's you. These tests, these challenges that you've been facing are becoming your testimony, okay? Those people who left you sitting on the floor to put your own table back together that crumbled, these people are now going to be your footstool, family. And please remember that God hid you so that you can take time to rest and pour into yourself to become the best version of yourself. And by shaping and molding ourselves in these hard times is how we come out of periods like this transformed, okay? When the universe is done working on this elevated version of you, when the world sees you again, when it's time to come out of hiding, because a breakthrough is coming, trust me, nobody is going to even be able to recognize you. They won't. They see the light in you and it scared them. And you know what? They're probably likely going to be doing the same toxic things they were doing to you. They're going to be doing it to each other. That job is still going to have a high turnover rate, and you're going to be glad that you left. You're going to be glad that you plucked the weeds from your garden and look how it flourished. So please remember, if anything from this message, from this video, please remember that you are loved, you are chosen, you are a lotus flower that can bloom from the concrete in a dark room. Please don't give up in times of loneliness. Keep that chin up, stay prayed up, ask for God, ask the universe, ancestors to show you what is true. I'm telling you, it's going to set you free. And let those tears fall, please. Let them fall. Know that your cries are being heard, This period of isolation was created and designed to empower you and transform you, not break you. You are a beautiful, beautiful flower. I love you, friends. I really hope this helped today. Ciao.